And you tapped into it, Anita, because here, and you know, this stands out for me, for both of you, which is your comfort level around having these conversations and guiding others about how to have these conversations. Because I know through both the research and hearing from charities that not everybody has that comfort level talking about money. And in the Jack Silverstein presentation last week, one of the questions was, why do you think that is? Like, here are people in fundraising, major gifts, and they find it difficult to talk about money. And I thought it was great. Jack Silver, and it's obvious, it may be obvious to everybody else, but I thought it was a great point, which is what he said was that people who come into plan giving, charitable sector, they have big hearts. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're comfortable talking about money. So I thought just quickly, this is quite spontaneous for me, which is that another DMP peer and I, for the PG tips, we're actually going to be doing some tips for charities about how to talk about money and about people's relationship with money. So just thought I would put that in there, and then also ask what your thoughts are about that. Do you think that people in the charitable sector have a hard time, and not-for-profit sector have a hard time or have challenges talking about money?
I think you're right. I know you're right, and I needed to find my comfort level. And maybe it was easier with Major Gift because something brought us together. But where it leads to another conversation, bequest and will. So, but you can kind of get into that. First of all, make your own gift. And then you understand how deep it is to commit that kind of gift, because it is the final gift to your favorite charity or one of your favorite charities. And so it is with that respect that you want to approach the conversation. However the conversation may be evolving, you kind of want to know where you want to go, but sometimes it doesn't evolve where you want it, but often it can. And so in conversation, depending on the person you're speaking with, and I guess the instance that I draw on is a lady I was sitting with. She was a major donor, and we were comfortable in conversation. I brought her a receipt, and we were just talking about books, and she liked hummingbirds. And her husband had passed, but she had had a wonderful life as a diplomat's wife. And it was just, and I knew her well enough. And so sitting beside her, I said, I have tremendous respect the programs that my charity is delivering. And I know you do too, because of your gifts. And I've made a bequest for the charity. I wonder if you have.
Oh, wow.
And she said, well, yes, I did. And so when you're talking about a legacy or how one wants to be remembered, and if they have children, you can kind of get talking about that gently. And it kind of comes on its own, where you can then ask that question, but you've taken so many steps to lead into it. And I think if I can,